Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Bill Mcleod Show, helping single parents succeed.
Good morning, single parents, and welcome to the Bill Mcleod Show, helping single parents succeed. I am so thrilled and happy that you've taken the time out of your busy day to tune into the radio show today and hopefully share some ideas and tips with us, and hopefully I'll be able to, as well as my guests, share some great ideas and tips to help you just become a more successful single parent. I know I had a great weekend. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope if you're listening live, it's a beautiful day for you, or if it's on the archives, you've had a good day as well. I want to remind you that our show today is being sponsored by First State Bank Mortgage. First State Bank Mortgage can be reached toll-free. That's toll-free at 866-699-5331. And for just calling them today, they will offer you a free credit report and a free appraisal for anybody who has any mortgage needs available today. And why wouldn't you? Rates are at an all-time low. So pick up the phone and call First State Bank Mortgage, 866-699-5331. I also always want to remind everybody you can follow me on Twitter or Facebook under Bill Mcleod. That's BILLMCLEOD. And each and every day we'll try to give you some great tips to just help you become a better parent, because at the end of the day, as we say in this show every week, this is about being a better parent, but it's really about your children, and it's about helping them deal with some of the adversities or some of the changes in their life of being raised by single parents, because we can do a great job, we do a good job, and we will always continue to do a good job as long as we continue to work at it. So, as always, I bring you the best guest possible here, and my first guest today is David Beck. He is an intuitive, certified life coach, a choreographer, a dance instructor, and now a published author through the book Conversations on Success, alongside Dr. John Gray and Tom Hopkins. You know, David grew up as a victim of child abuse, and he was told that, you know, his dreams were just nothing more than dreams. They would never come true, but he was not willing to accept that, and David went out and made the changes that he had to make so that he could be successful, and we're very, very happy to have him on the program today. So, David, thanks for coming on the show.
Hello, thank you for having me, Bill. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we are thrilled to have you. David, tell the listeners, let's talk about you. Tell us how it all began and how you went from being told you couldn't do things to doing all the wonderful things you're doing today.
Oh, I don't think we have that long. I like you had said, I was a child that was a victim of child abuse. My mother was an alcoholic, and I had lived with her up until the age of 8. And she was a single parent, and she had her challenges and didn't know how to actually deal with her own emotional fears.
Right.
And so time came on, and eventually I stood up and said I couldn't live there anymore, and I moved in with my grandmother. And from there, I started taking dance classes and living, let's say, a normal childhood somewhat.
Okay, good.
And took my dance classes, went to a performing arts high school, and still wanting a mother and wanting that quote-unquote normal childhood, still searched for it, and let's say there is no right or wrong, but in all the wrong places, and unconsciously fear was having its way with me, and looking for love in inappropriate ways and things of that nature. And then when I became in my 20s, I started producing my own concerts and things of that nature, and teaching dance classes, and then entered a coaching program, a sort of Fearless Living Life coaching program with the Fearless Living Institute, and really started to do the emotional healing, do the emotional work that was needed to continue my life's purpose in both choreographing, working with children, working with adults, and coaching them to their success.
Okay, now I have a million questions for you, because
Go for it.
We have similar, not you and I in particular, but so much my children do. What about your father? Where was your father when you were growing up with your mother?
My father was looking for love as well, and he had his life. He was very let's just say the world revolves around him, and he went out, and he was basically not around. I mean, I would see him and things of that nature, and my grandmother, which is his mother, was the one who raised me. She had told him, "You must get him." And he did. However, he did not want me, basically. Well, nor could he have handled me.
Okay, so what? I mean, growing up with an alcoholic mother, from one who is, my wife was an alcoholic. My children grew up with this, and there's danger and safety issues constantly with this, which is what's caused us eventually to separate it and all. But with your mother, I mean, what are some of the experiences that you had with her that you knew you had to get out of there? Because I think there's so many listeners out here, single parents in particular, that one of the parents has an issue. And, I mean, what did you go through?
Well, I went through the physical abuse. My mother would get on her drinking sprees. I would be left at home at night alone, and she would go out to the bars. And then when she would come home, wake me up, and we'd go for breakfast or whatever, and then she would go off and beat me, basically. And then she would meet men, and looking for love in all the wrong places, would have sex. And I learned at that age, there's a story that I'm writing about in my book. There was a man that I saw on her, and I was like, get off my mommy, get off my mommy. And he had picked me up and held me up against the wall and said, this is how adults love each other. Jeez. I was like 7 or 8. And so there it is in my childhood and going into my unconscious. And later on in life, that's what I ended up acting out. Then she would have boyfriends that abused her. When I was 8 years old, there was a man that was hurting her, and the only way to get him off of her was to hit him on the back with a baseball bat.
God almighty.
And then she had another child. My baby brother, who, when he was born, I basically became his father. Okay. And I was 8 years old, and she would leave us alone at night, and I barely went to school because I was home taking care of him while she was passed out or things of that nature. And then eventually the man that I had hit over the baseball bat, I couldn't take it anymore. And she was going through her stuff and harming me. And I had said, are you trying to kill me? And she had said yes. And at that point, my father was knocking at the door, going to take me to school. Okay. And from that moment on, I did not live with her. She had kicked me out, and then throughout some years, she would fight and show up at my grandmother's house drunk and things of that nature. And my mom, really over the years, just tried to become my friend, and we would talk. However, it became very challenging for me because I would revert back to like when I was 5 or 6, and she would holler and scream at me, and eventually I had to disconnect our connection. And in 2007, I had learned that she passed away. She passed away in June, and I didn't learn until October. And now my mom and I are closer than ever. She's one of my biggest guardian angels. So she, had her childhood. She had her upbringing, and sadly, unfortunately, she learned all that stuff unconsciously too. And me, I was just triggering memories of my father and things of that nature for her. And not saying it's right or wrong or anything like that. She had no one else to take it out on, and I was the one.
Well, David, I first of all, thank you because I know this is not always easy to share with people, but I mean, what an inspiration for the things you've gone through. I know my children's mother passed away 2 years ago as well. And a lot had to do with alcoholism at the same time, but I have been in their life, and I give you all the credit for doing this. So let's talk about the positive stuff, shall we? All right,
love
because
that.
Here's what drives me crazy, and people have heard me say this over and over again, but I read these statistics and said, if you're a child of a single parent, you have a greater chance of going to jail or becoming an alcoholic or committing suicide. And I said, that is a bunch of bull. A lot of children of single parents don't always go to the dark side. They come back. They can be good. You are a prime example of that. So let's talk about conversations on success. How did it all come to be?
How it all came to be was, I had been graduated from the coaching program about a year, and then I had just learned that my mother passed away. And actually, no, I'm sorry, I take that back. I did not learn my mother had passed away until October, but she had just passed away. And my dog had just passed away, so it was the first time I was dealing with the death of a dog. I had never had that happen. Right. And I received an email and then a call from Insight Publishing Company, and they had been my website, liked what my website was about and what I spoke about. They loved that I was a dancer and a choreographer, and invited me to be in this book. And ever since a little boy, I had always had a dream that I would write a book. Now, I didn't go to school that much. I did not read. Looking back at my grades on my report card from like 3rd and 4th grade, I was like, how did you people pass me? And here I am in a book, and it's very exciting. I love it. It's a dream come true. I am one that if I have a vision, if I have a dream, I pursue it and it's about the work. It's about the work in manifesting it.
Right.
It's my calling of my heart. And if I did not listen to the call of my heart, I would be miserable. It would still keep calling, and opportunities would then present themselves, and it would just be right there in my face. And it's up to me to make those choices.
You know, and I know on your website where you've got the saying evolution is a journey of change, and the next level is aligning head, heart, humanity, and spirituality. And I think that there's so many things you can teach so many people. Give everybody the website where they can reach you before we go to our first break here, David.
It's evolutionthenextlevel.com.
Okay, and what on that website they can expect? I know so much inspiration. They can get in contact with you. They can share their thoughts. You can help them. I know that. And We're going to bring David back on the second segment here. So everybody, I want you to stay tuned. This is a great story about David and his success. You're listening to the Bill Mcleod Show, helping single parents succeed. Hi guys, Bill Mcleod here, and if you own a home or are considering purchasing a home, now is the perfect time to pick up the phone and call my friends at First State Bank Mortgage. CNN recently reported that interest rates are at a 52-year loan. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to your kids to find out what First State Bank Mortgage can do for you. Licensed in all 50 states, they are an FHA, VA direct lender, and being part of a sound and secure bank, they are FDIC insured and an equal opportunity lender. They offer a common-sense approach to underwriting. Even if you don't think that you qualify, even if you think that you owe more than your house is worth, I encourage you to pick up the phone and call First State Bank Mortgage toll-free at 888-660-6562. That's 888-660-6562. And if you call today, they will waive your credit report and appraisal fees just by mentioning the Bill Mcleod Show. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call First State Bank Mortgage, 888-660-6562. What's stopping you? It's free, it's easy, and it's the right thing to do. First State Bank Mortgage, FDIC insured.
Is your child disrespectful, defiant, or obnoxious? Does everything turn into an argument with your kid? I'm behavioral therapist James Lehman. I'll help you turn your child's behavior around right now with the Total Transformation.
After the Total Transformation, there's no more arguing, no more lecturing, no more back talking. Now when I ask him to do something, he does it.
We've learned verbiage from the Total Transformation program, and it's almost like magic. If you say those words, they stop arguing.
Defiance, back-talking, lying, acting out in school, even problems with ADD and ADHD. The Total Transformation will help you solve even the worst behavior problems. I guarantee your child will listen to you again, and you'll get peace and sanity back in your home.
Call now and get how to turn your child's attitude around in 1 minute or less free with your order. 1-866-798-5583. 1-866-798-5583. Call now. 1-866-798-5583. 1-866-798-5583.
Hey guys, Bill Mcleod again, and I know how hectic your life is. There's never enough time in the day to focus on all the things that are important. But in order to protect yourself and your family, you really need to think about protecting your identity. Part of being a good dad means protecting your assets, so that you have peace of mind to focus on the things that you want. Time with the people you love, building a great life. That's why I protect my most valuable asset, my identity, with ID Watchdog. Each month, ID Watchdog's patent-pending technology patrols thousands of records and lets me know if there are any signs that could mean someone is trying to use my identity. And if my identity is ever compromised while I'm an ID Watchdog member, the resolution agents will work on my behalf to solve the problem at no extra charge. I've teamed up with ID Watchdog to make you a special offer. Click on the ID Watchdog logo at singledadstown.com and get your first 30 days for free. or call 1-800-214-0877. That's 1-800-214-0877. $1.95 identity verification fee required.
Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome to the Bill Mcleod Show, helping single parents succeed.
Good morning, single parents. You're back with the Bill Mcleod Show, helping single parents succeed. And before we go any further, I want to let everybody know something. We have some major news coming out at singledadstown.com this Wednesday afternoon. This is big news. This is exciting news. I am thrilled to share it with everybody. Can't share it today. You got to wait till Wednesday afternoon. So I encourage everybody to make a note to go to singledadstown.com this Wednesday. Right on the front of the homepage, you'll see what the major news is. So we're back with my guest, David Beck. David is the author of Conversations on Success. And David, I have to tell you, there's a saying I read recently. It says, success means having the courage, the determination, and the will to become the person you believe you were meant to be. That kind of describes you. Did you write this, or who wrote it for you? There it is.
I will grasp in that concept. You know, in my book, I actually talk about defining success, and you know, there's the Webster's dictionary of success and all that. However, success is really defined by us, and success is how we're all successful because here we are living in this present moment.
Right.
We're here, and we've had to do something, quote unquote, right to be here. And now it's just taking our lives to the next level and really embracing the gift that we are.
Well, like you say, I know we are the creators of our life, and I know you've created your life. Hey, David, tell everybody where they can find your book.
They can actually find it on my website at evolutionnenextlevel.com. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter as well. And make sure you spell my name correct. It's Daved and then Beck, and you can find me on Facebook and Twitter.
No, you see, you had to change your name because of the soccer player, didn't you?
No, actually.
David Beckham, David, we kind of got it all confusing here.
But see, now that you've had this conversation and we've connected, you can say you've been Daved.
That's exactly right. You are exactly right. So let's talk more. What message do you want to get out? You know, we have so many single parents here that have gone through adversity, have gone through some tough times. Sometimes I think they exaggerate how tough their times really are because, as you said, we're blessed, we've succeeded, we're here today. We have our children, we have our life, hopefully we have our health. What message do you want to get out to them to help them overcome their challenges today?
Well, you know, when it comes to being a single parent, I know fear is going to come in and probably say you're failing, that you're selfish. Fear is going to probably say it's too much and it's overwhelming, and you know, anger is going to come in, and frustration and anxiety, and all of that is fear. Right. And what it is, it's about reaching out and being able to ask for support, working through the forgiveness. As a single parent, there is forgiveness to be done, right. Rather that be forgiveness with ourselves or forgiveness with another. However, forgiveness always does come back to self because we're the ones that are living our lives. We're the ones that are the gift and have so many gifts to share. And here, there's children. You know, our children are our greatest gift. They're the ones that get to move forward. And when we're willing to admit and speak our truth that, yeah, I'm angry. I'm angry right now. I'm pissed off. I'm frustrated. When we're willing to admit that and recognize that, then that's when the healing can be done. It always begins with awareness. You're right.
We have to do that. I so agree with you. I mean, it's okay to grieve. It's okay to feel mad. You can do those things, but you know what? You have to do them and get over them and get on and deal with the future because, as you said earlier, this is about our kids at the end of the day. And we as single parents model for our children every single day.
Yeah,
you know,
and we and children, and I'll say we because we're adult children as well. We learn things unconsciously, and children look for the inspiration in every moment. As adults, we should be doing that. Right. They look for the inspiration. They look for that guidance. Right. And if they see something like I did when I was a child, or hear something, they're gonna bring that into their lives and act upon it. And so the best thing to do is really to be truthful with ourselves and do the inner work. And a lot of my clients, I'll say all of them have anger, because we all have anger. And once they move through that anger, I'm thinking of one client right now who, a male, and he came to me and was a very angry man. And he's married. His wife, his children would say how angry he was and how disconnected. And after working with me, says that he is such a gentle, sweet, open man now. It's amazing.
Well, we're talking to David Beck, and he is a certified life coach. He is a choreographer, a dance instructor, and the published author of Conversations on Success. And Tom Hopkins, that's no small partner to have in that book.
Mm-hmm. Dr. John Gray as well. He wrote Venus and Mars. So
that's unbelievable. So
yeah, it was a great honor.
I tell you, is that it is so important. David, again, let everybody know, if people are there right now, they're upset. I mean, you have seen things, experienced things as a child of an alcoholic mother that I know with my kids, it's like I don't wish it upon anybody whatsoever, but you can overcome this. You can be successful. You just kind of have to make that decision today that you're going to do it. I have a friend of mine who's having a difficult time in a certain situation right now, and I keep telling her, I said, the enemy, is not your demons. Your enemy is your mind. Mm-hmm. It is totally your mind. How do you change your mindset and go forward?
Well, and you said it exact. I mean, we can make up things in our mind that's so not true. And the best, the first thing that I guess I want to say is be open to forgiveness, and the best way to even start that process is write down I'm mad at you for this, I blame you for this, and write all of it, let it all out, let all of the toxins out, write it on paper, write it on paper, and go through each one and see the innocence in that. Maybe if we're speaking about husband and wife, and they're divorced, and this is the husband, and the wife has left and taken everything, well, then see the innocence. Maybe she wasn't ready. Look at her past and how she grew up. Maybe it's time to let go. My grandmother always told me growing up, which was such a beautiful statement, if something's yours, let it go. And if it's yours, it'll come back to you. If it's not, it won't.
Right. Another one, adversity brings knowledge, and knowledge brings wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
and we can learn from these things, too. The crazy thing is when you do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. That's nuts.
Mm-hmm. And maybe the whole purpose was just to bring the beautiful child into the world.
That's right. You're right. You're exactly right. I mean, there is a benefit, even if you're a divorced parent. No matter what your anger is, no matter what your fears are, the fact is you still have to work as common allies to help your children. Because none of us want our children to go through the difficult time. We all do that all the time. We all want our children's life to be better than our life. I don't know if it actually always happens that way, but we sure strive to do it. And I just think there's a million different ways. So what other suggestions? We've got a few more minutes. Give me other ideas.
Well,
things that you can share.
I'm running. I have a 3-week coaching course that I'm presently running, and the first week is really about embracing the gift of you and embracing the gift of others, and then it's about accepting that you are a gift and you have gifts to share. Mm-hmm. So it really is about every single moment of every single day of our lives, there is a gift. There are an abundance of gifts if we're willing and open to seeing them and embracing them and receiving them, mm-hmm. and saying yes to us, yes to another, yes to living your dreams. So oftentimes we say to ourselves, well, I can't do that, or I don't have time to do that. Well, all of that is an excuse,
right?
Because all we have is time.
You're right. You're exactly right.
And really it's about embracing patience as well. Patience and living your dreams, looking at the children and living through their eyes, really, being with them. The best thing to do is to play with a child.
They should be your motivation. That's your inspiration right there in front of you each and every day.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt about it. So, David, tell everybody again, where can they get more information on yourself, on your work? Can they buy your book, your website? I want everybody to hear because it's a great story. It's a great book, and I just want to share it with all our listeners.
Thank you. You can visit www.evolutionnextlevel.com, and there's where you can get my book. You can hook up with me, David at evolutionnextlevel.com, or you can find me on Facebook or Twitter.
Perfect. And David is Daved. B-E-C-K, so don't miss it, everybody. Hey, David, you have been a great guest. I applaud you. I thank you for coming on and sharing your story and your advice and your inspiration to all the listeners today, and I just wish you continued success, and I hope you sell 1 million books and continue to help all the people who need your help out there. You've done a wonderful job, and thanks so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
We're more than welcome. You've been listening to Bill Mcleod Show, and we're talking to David Beck again. David is Daved, B-E-C-K. You can find more about David on Twitter or Facebook, as you can myself, should you be so inclined to go Bill Mcleod, and find me on Twitter and Facebook as well. I want to encourage everybody to go to singledadstown.com, not only because by signing up for the free membership, I said free, by the way, I immediately give you 10 tips that will help you become a better single parent, not only because we have access to a forum where you can share ideas and hints and stories with other single parents, not because of the thousands of ideas and suggestions we have, and not only because of the benefits from babysitting services to major retailers, but mainly because we have a major announcement coming out this Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon, singledadstown.com. Mark it down. Go take a look. I'm very excited about this. I hope you are as well. And I just really believe that it'll help all of us to become more successful single parents. You know, being a single parent is a blessing, folks. It's not a curse. It is a wonderful, wonderful thing that God has given us. And I encourage all of us to make every step possible to try to do the best that we can to improve ourselves in any way by going to singledadstown.com, because at the end of the day, this is all about your kids. How do we help your kids become better children and more successful parents themselves later on in life? You're listening to the Bill Mcleod Show, helping single parents succeed. Hi guys, Bill Mcleod here, and if you own a home or are considering purchasing a home, now is the perfect time to pick up the phone and call my friends at First State Bank Mortgage. CNN recently reported that interest rates are at a 52-year loan. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to your kids to find out what First State Bank Mortgage can do for you. Licensed in all 50 states, they are an FHA, VA direct lender, and being part of a sound and secure bank, they are FDIC insured and an equal opportunity lender. They offer a common-sense approach to underwriting. Even if you don't think that you qualify, even if you think that you owe more than your house is worth, I encourage you to pick up the phone and call First State Bank Mortgage toll-free at 888-660-6562. That's 888-660-6562. And if you call today, they will waive your credit report and appraisal fees just by mentioning the Bill Mcleod Show. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call First State Bank Mortgage, 888-660-6562. What's stopping you? It's free, it's easy, and it's the right thing to do. First State Bank Mortgage, FDIC insured.
My children were very disrespectful. They were defiant. The results from the total transformation were almost immediate. The children stopped arguing.
Is your child disrespectful and defiant with you about everything? Are they arguing with you constantly and having problems in school? I'm behavioral therapist James Lehman. I'll help you turn your child's behavior around right now with the total transformation.
They have become very task-oriented at school. They complete their assignments in a timely manner without being asked. I firmly believe it is 100% the total transformation. It truly changed our lives.
Backtalk, lying, even problems with ADD and defiant teens. I'll help you transform the worst behavior problems and get peace and sanity in your home. Guaranteed.
Call now and get how to turn your child's attitude around in 1 minute or less, and James's weekly newsletter free with your order. 1-866-798-5583. 1-866-798-5583. Call now. 1-866-798-5583.
Hey, it's Bill Mcleod here for ID Watchdog, and I have to share with you some statistics that have just amazed me. Do you know that every 3 seconds someone loses their identity? Do you know that identity theft is the fastest growing crime in America? Last year alone, 8.4 million Americans became victims of identity theft. Only 30% of all identity theft has to do with credit. 70% is about establishing your name with mortgages, utilities, driver's license, medical records, insurance applications, bank accounts, and criminal records. Victims of identity theft don't discover their information has been stolen until 12 months later, and then it can take up to 600 hours for a person to rectify the problem. You are 4 times more likely to become a victim of identity theft than having your home burglarized. I've teamed up with ID Watchdog to make you a special offer. Click on the ID Watchdog logo at singledadstown.com and get your first 30 days for free. Or call right now toll-free 1-800-214-0877. That's 1-800-214-0877. $1.95 identity verification fee required.